Hello, and welcome back to the Everyday English Podcast. I am so happy you are here with us today. This is the place where we take real-life, everyday problems and we solve them with natural English. We do not just learn lists of vocabulary words here. We learn how to live your life in English. Today, we are talking about something that makes almost everyone nervous. We are talking about money. But we are not talking about investment banking or the stock market. We are talking about the awkward, uncomfortable conversations you have with friends, landlords, or waiters when money is involved.
Hi, everyone. It is great to be here. This is such an important topic. I think money is the number one reason people feel shy when speaking a second language. I have friends who are very fluent in English, but the moment they have to ask someone to pay them back, or the moment they have to dispute a bill at a restaurant, they freeze. They get scared.
Exactly. And do you know why they get scared? It is because they are afraid of sounding rude. In many languages, talking about money is very direct. You might say, "Give me the money," or "You owe me $10." And in those languages, that is perfectly fine. It is normal. But if you directly translate those phrases into English, you can sound very aggressive. You might sound angry, even if you are actually feeling very calm.
That is the trap of direct translation. I remember once I was at a coffee shop with a friend from overseas. He paid for my coffee the day before, so I wanted to pay him back. He looked at me and said, "Give me $5 now." He was smiling, he was happy, but the words were so strong. It felt like a command. It felt like a robbery.
That is exactly what we want to avoid today. We want to teach you the art of the softener. A softener is a piece of grammar or vocabulary that acts like a cushion. It makes your words land softly. It takes the sharp edge off your request. Instead of hitting someone with a rock, you are throwing a pillow. It is still a request, but it is comfortable.
I love that image, throwing a pillow, not a rock. So before we get into the specific phrases, if you enjoy deep diving into these real communication skills, please make sure you are subscribed to the Everyday English Podcast. We release episodes that help you sound more like a native speaker and less like a textbook robot. If you want to build real fluency, hitting that subscribe button is a great first step.
Let us start with the most useful grammar structure for money conversations. This is the number one tool in your softener toolkit. It is the phrase, "I was wondering if." Listen closely to the grammar there. I was wondering if.
This is strange grammar if you think about it deeply. We are using the past continuous tense, I was wondering, but we are talking about the present moment. We are asking for something right now. Why do we use the past tense, Sarah?
That is a great question. In English, we often use the past tense to create distance. Distance equals politeness. If I say, "I wonder if you can pay me," that is present tense. It is okay, but it feels a little bit direct. When I say, "I was wondering," it sounds like the thought started in the past. It feels less immediate, less demanding, and much more polite. It gives the other person space to say no or to explain themselves.
So let's look at a real example. Imagine you lent a friend $20 for lunch last week. They have forgotten to pay you back. It's been a few days, you are starting to feel a little annoyed, but you want to keep the friendship. You don't want to start a fight.
Right. The direct translation, the rock, would be, "You owe me $20, pay me back." Or maybe, "Where is my money?" If you say that, your friend will feel attacked. They will get defensive.
So let's try using the softener. How would we use "I was wondering" in this situation?
You would say, "I was wondering if you could settle up for lunch the other day." Let's break that down. I was wondering if. Then we use could. Could is another softener. We don't say, "Can you?" We say, "Could you?" And then I used a phrasal verb, settle up. To settle up means to pay what is owed. It sounds much friendlier than pay me back.
Let me try one. What if I want to remind them about the specific amount? Can I say, "I was wondering if you have the $20?
You could say that, but to make it even softer, we often add a time phrase. You could say, "I was wondering if we could square up for lunch sometime this week." Square up is another great idiom. It means the same thing as settle up. It means to make the accounts equal, to make them square.
I love that. I was wondering if we could square up. It sounds so casual. It sounds like no big deal. And that is the secret, right? You want to get your money back, but you want to act like it's a small detail, not a big problem.
Exactly. Let us listen to a bad example first. I want everyone to hear the tone difference. Mark, imagine I am your friend. We are walking in the park. Ask me for the money using the direct method.
Okay, I will be the direct translator.
Hey, Sarah, you still have not paid me for the movie tickets. Give me the $15.
Ouch! Even though I know we are acting, I felt a little bit of tension in my stomach. It felt like I was being scolded by a parent or a police officer. It made me want to say, relax, I will give it to you. It creates conflict.
It felt rude saying it too. Now let us try the everyday English way. I will use the softener. Hey, Sarah, I was wondering if we could settle up for the movie tickets later today.
That felt completely different. I felt respected. I felt like, oh my gosh, I forgot, I'm so sorry. I wanted to pay you immediately because you were so nice about it. That is the power of I was wondering.
Now, there is another grammar trick that is very important for money. It is avoiding the word you. When we are angry or stressed about money, we tend to point fingers. We say, you made a mistake, you charged me too much, you forgot my change.
Yes, the word you is very accusatory. It points a finger at the other person. When someone hears sentences starting with you, they stop listening and start defending themselves. So our second technique for today is shifting the focus from the person to the situation. We do this by using phrases like, there seems to be, or it appears that.
This is often called the passive approach, or using dummy subjects. Instead of saying, you made a mistake on my bill, we say, there seems to be a mistake on the bill. Do you see the difference? The mistake exists, but I am not saying you did it. Maybe the computer did it. Maybe it was magic. I am just pointing out the mistake.
This is incredibly useful when dealing with customer service. Let us say you are at a restaurant. You look at the check, the bill, and you see they charged you for 3 desserts, but you only ate 2. This happens all the time. If you call the waiter over and say, you charged me for an extra dessert, the waiter might feel embarrassed or annoyed.
Right, so instead you hold up the bill and you say, excuse me, it looks like there is a small mistake here. We only had 2 desserts.
Notice the phrase, it looks like. That is a softener. You are not saying, I am 100% sure you are wrong. You are saying, this is how it looks to me. It is humble. It is polite. It looks like there is a small mistake.
And notice you also use the word small. That's another psychological trick. Even if the mistake is big, calling it a small mistake makes it easier for the waiter to fix it without losing face.
Let us try a harder scenario. This is one of the most stressful situations for English learners, calling a landlord or a utility company about a wrong bill. Let us say your internet bill is usually $50, but this month it is $80. You are angry. You want your $30 back. Mark, how would you start this conversation on the phone?
Okay, I am calling the internet company. Ring, ring, someone answers. If I am using the bad, direct method, I might say, you overcharged me. This bill is wrong. Fix it.
And the customer service agent will probably sigh, put you on hold for 20 minutes, and not be very helpful. Now try it using the techniques we just learned. Use I was wondering and use there seems to be.
Okay, let me try. Hi, I am calling about my latest bill. I was wondering if you could help me understand some of the charges. It seems like the total is higher than usual this month.
Perfect. That was beautiful. I was wondering if you could help me. You are asking for help, not demanding a refund yet. And then, it seems like the total is higher. You are not saying you stole my money. You are stating a fact about the bill. This makes the agent want to be the hero. They want to help the nice person who is confused, rather than fight the angry person who is shouting.
This also works great with banks. If you see a fee you don't understand, do not scream. Say, I noticed a charge here that I don't recognize. I was wondering if you could check that for me?
Exactly. I noticed a charge, not you charged me. It is a subtle shift, but it changes the entire emotional tone of the conversation. I hope you are taking notes because these little phrases, I was wondering if, there seems to be, I noticed that, these are your armor. They protect you from awkwardness.
Now, Sarah, I want to talk about another side of money. We talked about asking for money and correcting mistakes, but what about when you don't have money? What about when you are, as we learned in other videos, broke?
Being broke is a temporary condition, hopefully. But saying, I am broke is very casual and a little bit traumatic. If your boss asks you to go to a fancy lunch, or a new friend invites you to an expensive concert, saying, I cannot go, I am broke, can feel a bit too personal. It can be embarrassing.
So how do we decline an invitation due to money without losing our dignity? How do we use softeners there?
We use vague descriptions of our budget. We do not need to show everyone our bank account balance. We just need to indicate that it is not the right time for that expense. A great phrase is, that is a bit out of my budget right now.
I use that one all the time. It is professional and it is honest. That is a bit out of my budget. Or you can say, I am trying to save money this month.
Yes. Or if you want to be even softer, you can say, things are a little tight at the moment. Tight means you do not have a lot of extra room in your finances. Things are a little tight. It is a very common native speaker idiom.
So let us role play this. Sarah, I am going to invite you to a very expensive dinner. I want you to say no, politely, because of the money. Hey Sarah, a few of us are going to that new steakhouse downtown tonight. It is going to be amazing. Probably about $100 a person. You should come.
Oh, that sounds lovely, Mark. I would love to join you, but things are a little tight this week, so I think I will have to pass. Maybe we can do something cheaper next time?
That was perfect. You validated the invitation. You said, that sounds lovely. You gave the reason, things are tight, and you offered a future solution. It was not awkward at all.
And notice I did not just say no, I used I think I will have to pass. This is another softener. Instead of saying I will not come, which is absolute, I say I think I will have to pass. It implies that I am making a reluctant choice. I want to come, but I have to make this choice.
I think I will have to pass. That is a great phrase for saying no to anything, really, not just money stuff.
Absolutely. Now, I want to introduce one more advanced technique. This is for when you are asking for a favor involving money, like asking for a discount or asking for an extension on rent. This involves using negative questions or negative statements to sound hopeful but not demanding.
Oh, like when we say, you wouldn't happen to offer a student discount, would you?
Yes, that is advanced. Listen to that structure. You wouldn't happen to, would you? This is extremely polite. It shows that you expect the answer might be no, so you are taking all the pressure off the other person. If I say, give me a discount, that is rude. If I say, do you have a discount, that is okay. But if I say, you wouldn't happen to have a discount, would you? I sound charming. I sound like I am just checking, just in case.
It is almost like you are apologizing for asking before you even ask. It works very well. Let's try it with a landlord. Imagine you cannot pay rent on the 1st of the month. You need to pay on the 5th. You need a favor.
Okay, the direct rude way would be, I will pay you on the 5th. That is a command. The landlord will say, no, pay me now.
The polite standard way would be, can I pay you on the 5th? Better, but let's try the super soft, advanced way.
I would say something like, I was wondering if it might be possible to pay on the 5th this month, or you wouldn't be able to accept the payment a few days late, would you?
I was wondering if it might be possible. Wow, that is 4 verbs working together to make a soft pillow. Was wondering, might be possible. You are stacking the softeners.
Exactly. Stacking softeners is how you show high-level English fluency. It shows you understand social hierarchy and respect. If you are speaking to a close friend, you do not need to stack so many. You can just say, can I pay you Tuesday? But with a boss, a landlord, or a stranger, stacking softeners is very powerful.
I want to address one fear our listeners might have. Sarah, if I use all these soft words, might, maybe, wondering, seems, do I sound weak? Do I sound like I'm not confident?
That is a very valid fear. In some cultures, directness equals strength. But in English-speaking cultures, specifically in the UK, USA, Canada, Australia, politeness equals competence. If you are too direct, you do not look strong. You look out of control. You look emotionally immature. Being able to control your language and use these softeners shows that you are sophisticated. It shows you are in control of the conversation.
That is such a good point. The person who screams, give me my money, looks like they are losing their temper. The person who says, I was wondering if we could settle this matter, looks like a professional who handles business.
Precisely. So do not worry about sounding weak. You sound professional. Now, we have covered a lot of phrases today. I want to do a little review listening practice. I am going to say a direct, rude sentence. I want you, the listener, to try and think of the soft version in your head before Mark says it. Are you ready?
I am ready. Let us test them.
Okay, scenario 1. You are at a store. The price on the shelf was $5, but the cashier rings up $10. Rude sentence. The price is wrong. Change it. Listener, think of the softener. Mark, what is the answer?
Excuse me, I noticed the sign on the shelf said $5. There seems to be a difference here.
Excellent. I noticed there seems to be. Okay, scenario 2. A colleague at work owes you money for a birthday gift contribution. Rude sentence. You need to give me the $10 for the gift. Listener, how do we soften this? Mark?
Hey, I was wondering if we could square up for the birthday gift contribution when you have a moment?
Perfect. Square up. when you have a moment. That is another great little phrase to add at the end. It takes the time pressure off. Okay, last one. Scenario 3. A friend asks to borrow $100. You want to say no. Rude sentence. No, I will not lend you money. Listener, what do we say? Mark?
I wish I could help, but things are a bit tight this month, so I will have to pass.
I wish I could help. That is a beautiful addition. It shows empathy. You are on their team, even though the answer is no.
You know, hearing these side by side really highlights the difference. The rude versions sound so robot-like. The soft versions sound human.
That is the goal of our Everyday English podcast. We want you to sound human. We want you to connect with people, not just transact with them. Money is just a tool, but language is how we build relationships.
So we have a challenge for you. We call it the 24-hour softener challenge.
Yes, for the next 24 hours, try to use the phrase, I was wondering if, for any request you make. It doesn't have to be about money. It can be asking your partner to pass the salt. It can be asking your colleague for a pen. Instead of saying, pass the salt, say, I was wondering if you could pass the salt.
Or at work, instead of saying, send me that email, say, I was wondering if you could send me that email. Just try it. Watch how people react. I guarantee it, you will see more smiles. People will be more willing to help you.
It changes the energy in the room. And specifically for money, if you have a debt you need to collect or a bill you need to dispute, write down your script before you make the call or send the text. Use the template, I was wondering if, plus you could, plus action, or it seems that, plus problem. Writing it down helps so much. It stops you from panicking and going back to direct translation. We really hope this episode gives you the confidence to handle your financial conversations with grace. You work hard for your money, and you work hard on your English. You deserve to be understood and respected. If you found this helpful and you want to keep improving your life in English, please consider subscribing to the channel. We have so many more episodes coming up on relationships, health, job interviews, and small talk. And if you hit the bell icon, you will get a notification every time we upload a new lesson, so you never miss a chance to practice.
Also, let us know in the comments, have you ever had an awkward money moment in English? Did you say something too direct by mistake? We would love to hear your stories. We learn from each other's mistakes.
Thank you so much for listening to the Everyday English podcast. Remember, fluency is not just about knowing the words. It's about knowing how to make people feel.
Well said. Good luck with your softener challenge.
See you in the next episode. Keep practicing and stay polite.